Hello, I'm Bailey and welcome back to my channel. I am currently reading The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. I would love to know what you're currently reading. Let me know down below in the comment. So today I thought I would bring you guys a mid-month wrap-up because last month I read so many books and I didn't have time to talk about them all as much as I would like to in my wrap-up because it was just too many. So I thought this month I would come in with a mid-month wrap-up to at least give some reviews and my ratings so that in my end of the month wrap-up I can just kind of gloss over these and put them in my ranking system and then move on so that video isn't quite as long. So this is basically just going to be quick reviews so that I can reference this video later on. I am going to do these chronologically even though I usually in my wrap-ups go from my least favorite to most favorite because I'm still going to put these in that system at the end of the month. So the first thing I finished, which I'm not sure I put this on my October TBR because I thought I might finish it still in September, but I finished Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston like right away this month. And this book is basically about in the 2016 election if a woman would have won, and we're following her son as he has a romance with the Prince of England. And so basically it's kind of political, but it's not hugely political. It's a fun, like, lighthearted. It's pitched as being enemies to lovers, but they're not really enemies in the beginning and that goes away fairly fast. But yeah, it's a fun book. It wasn't as good as it was hyped up to be, but I did end up giving this 4 stars. And then I started my rereading project and I started with The Fifth Wave by Rick Yancey, which is basically a post-apocalyptic book, and we're following our main character Cassie through the 5th wave of this apocalypse, and you do find out what the first, second, and third waves are, I think, right away. I don't think you know. I think they're experiencing the 4th at the beginning. And it's basically a survival story. There is a lot of travel in this book, and it was a very fun book. The only complaint I had about this is that I thought it was a little bit longer than completely necessary, but I did love it just like I did back in 2013. And today, if I would have read it, I probably would have given it 4 stars, but I did let it stay as 5 stars on Goodreads. Just, I don't see any sense docking the rating when I did still really enjoy it. Then I read The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rochan, and this book starts off with our main character, Samaya. Basically, she's been like dating this guy for just a little while, and through some live tweets, she finds out that he's on a date with somebody else. And so she and another girl that was also dating this guy, so there's 3 of them that are simultaneously dating this guy, go and like crash the date and are like, hey, what's up? So they do that whole thing. That relationship's over. And then basically her and those other 2 girls decide that they're gonna make like a no dating pact, and then she meets a guy, basically. So it was a really cute book. I thought this handled the topic of inequality in the workforce very well because our main character is very driven in her career and very successful. And yeah, I thought that was all handled really well, but I didn't love the romance. The romance in this one did not work for me. So I thought the story, like our 2 main characters, were so fun and like I want to know more about them, but I don't want them to be together. It just wasn't a believable romance to me. So I ended up giving that 3.25 stars, but I do think it's still like a worthwhile read for sure. Just maybe remove the romance. And then for my next reread, I reread The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian, and this is probably my favorite thing I've read so far this month. This was one I had a strong feeling that I would enjoy again, and I did, but I enjoyed it so much more even than I was expecting. And this follows our main character, Junior, who basically decides to start going to school off of the reservation and going to an all-white school, and he gets a lot of flack from the people on the reservation as well as getting bullied from people at his new school. And this follows a very innocent voice, a very naive voice, and it's I've described this as being very crude at points and like vulgar, but it's very funny and heartwarming. This also includes, let me see if I can find one. So our main character Junior makes like cartoons, so there is pictures all throughout this, which were really fun, and yeah, I enjoyed this all around. I think this is an important book, and I would recommend it to almost anybody, and it is fairly short, so it was a fast read. Next might be the only book that I don't remember exactly if I actually put this on my October TBR, but I have been participating in Allie's currently reading book club, which I'll link her channel down below, as well as maybe last month's live show. But this month's pick was The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye, so I picked this up and read it right away. I'm way ahead. The live show's not till the end of the month, but I did jump on this and read it right away, and I'm so glad I did because I loved this so much. I think coming off of The Boyfriend Project, there's a lot of things similar in this. We are following a interracial couple. Our main character is Black, and the love interest, I believe, was Samoan, and the two of them had basically hooked up on a trip unknowingly, and then they never talked again, and then they're basically thrown into finding out that they are working for rival companies. And they're both working for, our main character owns her own like dating app, and the guy is working for like a family company that has more of a like Match.com type dating site. So we're dealing with one who has more of the swipe method dating app and one who has like a deep in-depth questionnaire, so they're rivaling, and there's a lot of talk about like which method is better. But this one was super cute. The romance was so well done. I loved it in this one. It made up for some lackluster romances I've read lately, and again, we got a main character who was just like killing it in her career. And I've also said in another video that I thought the family in this book was really cute and well done. And the last thing that I've read in the first half of the month, which took me forever, it's the longest thing I've read this month. It took me 13.5 hours to read it, and I read The Secret History by Donna Tartt, and I gave it 1.5 stars. I wasted so much time to not enjoy that book. It was so atmospheric. I understand why so many people have recommended it as like a fall-time read. It was slow-paced, it was long. At points I thought it was going somewhere that I was gonna enjoy, and it just never did. And it's basically about our main character is going to college, and he enrolls in his classes. He gets there, he doesn't get accepted to a Greek program that he wanted to take because that teacher is very selective on who he lets into the class. But then he makes friends with the students that are in that class, and the teacher invites him, but he says you have to drop all your other courses to be in this program. So he does. He drops all of his courses, and then with this friend group it becomes very like cult-like, and basically they end up committing a crime together, and then it goes from there. I do understand why people have enjoyed this book. It just didn't work for me. It was so long, it felt like it drug on forever, and it took me even like 100 pages to get used to the writing style at all. And once I was finally into it, I thought it was gonna go places that it just didn't. It wasn't shocking. It wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't what I wanted it to be. But yeah, I made it all the way through that and gave it 1.5 stars. So that is everything that I've read in the month of October from the 1st to the 15th. And so I hope you'll join me at the end of the month to see how the rest of my month goes. I am on track, even though I am not done with like half the amount of books I've read. I did read a couple of my longer things in this first chunk of the month. So I am halfway done, I would assume, with my goals for the month. According to Bookly, I've read 38 hours already this month, which I set my goal at 45 hours. So I'm definitely killing it so far this month. I'll surpass my goal. But yeah, I hope to see you guys again soon. I will have another video out on Wednesday, so I hope to see you then. And thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.